Hi everyone, good afternoon. I hope I'm audible. I hope I'm visible. I hope I'm audible and visible. Kindly confirm the audio and video. And we are talking about Indian cultural settings. So if you have any questions or doubts, please ask. So quickly, first 5 minutes are for your questions and doubts. If you have any doubts, please ask. Most of you had submitted your homeworks and the homeworks were really well done. And I have also shared some of the samples. Abhishansa says I could not find the data on stunting and wasting. Beta thoda sa type karenge to Google सब दे देगा. Yes or no? So you will find all that data coming in. Good afternoon to all. So the percentage was there. Can I mention the percentage? देखिए भाई आपको डेटा इकट्ठा करना है बच्चों वाली बात मत करिए कि सर कैन आई मेंशन द परसेंटेज और नॉट देयर आर पीपल हु आर सबमिटिंग quite innovative work. The samples are there on the group. So why are we talking about like children, sir? Can we do this? Can we not do that? If that data is not there in the sample, I can understand. Did you check the Telegram group? Question says this thing 36, 38, whatever you're saying, I get that. So everyone, can we go to the Telegram group? Do we already have data on that? So Dushant, what are you writing over here? Everyone, can you see the samples? Yes. National sample survey, rural, urban, whatever is there, stunting data is there, obesity data is there. Why are you writing it here? So this exercise where I give you homework is an exercise to check your integrity and your ability to process your exposure to the subject. The more time you spend on that, it helps you to learn and to consolidate. It also helps you in memorizing things. So one homework was given on NCRT, the other was given on net referencing. And so that you are not confused, some good samples have been posted on the group. Even after that, one person is saying, can I write on percentage or not? And the other fellow is showing off by writing some percentage. Why are you doing this? Style listing? Why? The work was given. People who have done it very good. Many of them have got feedback. Many of them were, like I get so many assignments. So almost, I would say 70% of this batch, be it live or be it recording, all of you are doing your assignments. And that's a good thing. I'm sure you're getting your confidence also. This all. Here now somebody says, sir, can I write in percentage? I did not find on internet, sir, what to do. There is sample of that. Look at that. So everyone, please understand there is something called as observational learning. Most of us have learned many of our life skills by observing how others do those things. But if you are rigid with your own way, you don't even have the eyes. So I would want Dushyant, who is Kankan Jena, and Abhishansa to please open the Telegram group and look at that. Yes, can we have a look at that? All others, आपका काम तो है, you have submitted. Yes or no? Abhishansa writes, what more is there to write in this regarding this topic? So please check it, na Abhishansa. You are writing only what you know, and you are not even bothered because you feel others cannot be better than you. You wrote to me, sir, what more can there be to mention in the topic? That's your last message, or whatever you wrote. So see where people are evolving. So please do that. Do not live in thin air, everyone. Yes, आपने तो सबमिट भी नहीं किया विशन सर. Hats off to the people who submitted, and there will be people who will keep on telling me, sir, ये मिलता ही नहीं है. So there will be people who will be looking for excuses, and there will be people who will be unreasonable. Yes or no? Gangan, you have also submitted. So I would want you also look at what is the kind of work people have done. Can we have that? Yes, sir. Abhishanta says, sorry, I'll submit after the class. Abhishanta, look, I have to do a lot of work. So people who show their integrity, they show in the first round itself. So I have a request, Abhishanta, you're not bothered about what is coming on the group. Everyone, this is called social capital. Whatever is on the group is to give you samples to improve. Get that? Please do not misuse this opportunity of your teacher evaluating and giving you all the feedback. ऐसा नहीं है कि मजे मजे में चल रहा है. Don't use this to impress others and all that. You have this opportunity, and as I said, my classes have this advantage in the live classes that you can get your assignments evaluated, but not any kachra that you want to submit. ठीक है, तो अच्छी चीजें, अच्छे samples उधर हैं, देखिए please. Do not bring in all those reasons. And I want to tell you, your batch 70% people are very, very, very clear and unreasonable about their success. Unreasonable. There is no reason that will stop me from succeeding. Unreasonable to reach my dream. Do not tell me कि सर ये नहीं हुआ वो नहीं हुआ इसलिए नहीं किया. There are people who have done that और आपके पास samples भी. So let's not waste time on that. The question is, are we going to get any doubts? So doubts तो कोई नहीं है. So let me start the class. Though I had thought of starting with a test. आज एक test लिखना था. But let me continue without that. Let me continue on the topic because the topic needs to be covered. So maybe towards the end, I think I was talking about textile. Maybe towards the end of the class, I'll give that. So you can write that as your homework. And again saying, there are people who will talk about big things in the class. They will not do at home. So मैं उनकी tension ले नहीं रहा हूँ. Tension उनकी है. People who are really maintaining their integrity and who are really doing their good work. So they should keep doing their good work, whether you are listening to me in the live or recording sessions, whosoever is doing that, make sure you do that. So let's start the class. So since no more doubts have come. So we're talking about the growth, and we said the growth rate is going up. So this is the part which we were talking about, growth, distribution and density of population. And we looked at the reasons behind that. Is everyone okay with this? Reasons behind that. True? Growth, distribution, density. So we were looking at the reasons. These were some of the definitions. I was very glad that somebody submitted NFHS. So the table was like this. One of the submissions which I've got is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here NFHS CBR. This is the data of NFHS 4. This is the data of NFHS 5. And here the person has written definition also. So because you had the definitions, why not? Does it make sense? You are making your notes complete, no? Everyone. So this was innovative. As I said, every person will have his or her own way of doing it. People who are, there were so good answers that you people have submitted. Your home assignments are really inspirable. I really don't think so that even at times, even offline batches are that committed. So I am really very happy with the work that the serious people are doing in this. The level of evolution, some people stopped submitting in between and now they've restarted it. But because they were not consistent with their submission, I can very clearly see that their evolution level is slightly lower than the people who were consistent. But very fact is that you stopped and now you started again. So you will go to that level. So the idea is not giving up. So I really like the person. He used these definitions also. So at one place, I know India's CBR, how is the trend, rising or declining, migration, infant mortality, total fertility, whatever was there, whatever was the data was there. So the definitions were also there. So that's a smart way of note making. Just to acknowledge all the people who've done that, we're talking about this. Now we were talking about the growth rate. Yes, everyone remember the growth part of it. So when we're talking about the growth of the population, so we said that India's population growth has been increasing for some reasons. Now in that reasons, I want to bring a theory to you. And in this theoretical paradigm, what do I mean by paradigm? You can consider it as a framework. Do you get theoretical paradigm? In the theoretical framework, there are some stages of growth. So remember, I asked you to read NCERT for stages of growth. I'm sure they were easy. People who read them, you would be sitting in the class with greater confidence. NCERT bhi khatam hai, and I know that also. So that's a very good stage if you are in. Suppose you did not read it, aaj padh lega. No problem. Get it? So make sure you do that. So theoretical paradigm. So what happens is that there is this theory which is called demographic transition theory. Demographic transition theory. So all people who are listening to me, you can keep writing also. And more so if you are a beginner, you should be doing that. So these are running notes also. Apart from what I talk, you can keep writing also. So we're talking about demographic transition theory. This was given by Thompson and Notestein. Okay, Thompson and Notestein. So what was this? This is an empirical observation, real world observation based theory. This theory says as the socio-economic transformation of a society brings about a demographic transformation. What is that transformation? I will also tell you on this. Is everyone okay? So I told you yesterday when I told you about various theories, I said one theory I will be talking about later on. So very clearly, socio-economic transformation of a society brings about a demographic transition. So So what is this socio-economic transition? So from a primitive orthodox rural agrarian society, as the transformation happens to a modern cosmopolitan urban industrial society. Do we get that? This transformation brings a transformation in population. And what is that? High birth rate, high death rate, low population size, to low birth rate, low death rate, high population size. Have we written that? Yesterday I told you the story. I will be taking in detail. So first of all, this is an empirical theory. Empirical theory means it is based on real world examples and studies that this has been found in the world. Is everyone okay? With me on this, everyone? Perfect. So इस theory को कैसे करते हैं? Let us look at this. So this theory is a 4-stage theory. Quickly, let us understand 4-stage graphical representation. And I'll be putting India also on this, so don't worry. We will take a fresh page. We'll turn our notebook from portrait. We'll turn it to landscape. This side is time, and we will call them as stages. And this side is population size. This side is birth rate and death rate. Crude birth rate and crude death rate. Is everyone with me on this? Crude birth rate and crude death rate. So this is this red line, or let me make a green line. If you don't have a green line, you can use a solid color, means crude birth rate. Red line, if you don't have red line, you can use a dotted line. Dotted line is crude death rate. Is everyone with me on this? Correct? They find that in a primitive society, generally, the birth rate and death rate are high. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So death rate and birth rate are around 50. That's for our species, human species. I hope you remember birth rate is number of births per 1,000 population. Get that? So for human species, it is okay to have around 50 births per 1,000. And here, what do we have? This is the death rate. Death rate also keeps on fluctuating. That is also around 50. Is everyone okay? Double line refers to population size. Population size. So population size is low. Population size is low. Is everyone okay? Population size is low. With me on this, everyone? This is called the stage 1. This is called stage 1. Okay, this is called the primitive or pre-transition stage. Pre-transition stage. I want to tell you that this was 1921. Till 1921, in India, the birth rate and death rate were close to 50. Is everyone okay? 1921. I'm converting this to India. Some of you who have done paper with me, you might be thinking, "Arey, to repeat ho raha hai, India ka dalna is par." This time it's India. Do you get that? Now what happened was, as the socio-economic development happens, what society is this? Remember, this is primitive society. And yesterday I gave you the data that our population was very, very low and agriculture had started, but not much was there. But as we are looking at, remember, there were two big explosions which had happened, or two big revolutions which had happened. One was agriculture and another was technological. Remember that? So now when technological revolution happens, we are able to cut down on our death rates. Even with the agricultural revolution, when the nutrition is better and everything, will the death rate start coming down? So death rate starts coming down. Is everyone okay? Death rate is the first casualty of development, or first outcome of development. What? Decline in death rate. But what about the birth rate? Birth rate continues to be the same. Is everyone okay? And can we see a gap is created? Do we get that? Creation of this gap means that the country is entering a stage which is called transition. What are we entering? Transition stage. One is the pre-transition stage. Is everyone okay? So 1921, India entered this. And around 1951, India's death rate was somewhere around 30. and the birth rate was around say 40. So ये भी थोड़ा सा गिरा है. Slightly I can see that this has come down, but not much. But not much. So this is what I can look at for India. Is everyone with me on this? Are you making the graph also? What will happen to the population? What will happen to the population of India because of the gap? It will start increasing. It will start increasing. Is everyone with me on this? Get that? So if you ask me, the population was somewhere around 250 million and it became somewhere around 350 million. Do we get that? तो यहाँ तक 350 million हो गया. 250 to 350. Get that? Now everyone, we go further down and we come here. So the death rate continued to decline for India. Birth rate, unfortunately, should have declined. As per the theory, the birth rate also declines and becomes safe. As per the theory, the birth rate and death rate will decline. This is what expected. So what am I going to do? I am going to put that expected. What was this? Expected. So can I say this is birth rate trends? Sorry, this is CDR coming down, constantly coming down. Why is it coming down, everyone? Why is it coming down? Quickly, can you tell me? Better medical facilities, better health, better nutrition, more prosperity, quality of life, infant mortality rate goes down, maternal mortality rate goes down. Is everyone okay? Birth rate should come down. Yes or no? Birth rate should come down, but it does not. But it does not. And India's birth rate continues to be here only around 40. Is everyone okay? So people who had done this theory with me in paper 1, can you see a deviation? This is expected decline. Expected है कि ये बंद हो जाना चाहिए था. 1981. Get that? Don't worry, let's continue and we come to 2011 now. 2011, and I find that this continued to decline and it is somewhere here around 8. Around 8. Okay, 2011, everyone. And when I'm looking at this is around 28. So ये यहाँ पर ही है. Is everyone okay? Does your NCRT tell you that these are the 4 stages of India's population? Is everyone okay? Now, have I converted it into a graph? Can you see the gap has widened? Can you see the gap has widened again? The gap is wider. So what will happen to India's population? It will shoot. Will it shoot or not? And now what is happening? Shooting is still happening, but it is slowing down. Is everyone okay? So here the population became almost 680 million. And here the population is almost 1.2 billion. Now tell me, does NCRT give you this graph? Does NCRT give you this graph? NCRT does not give you this graph. So for a student who's just reading NCRT, who is in standard 12th, he must mug up. He must mug up the stages. But for a student who's preparing for UPSC, he knows that there is a theory called demographic transition theory. As per this theory, the ideal graph is like this. What is the ideal graph? There is death rate declines, and it becomes steady. Then there is birth rate. Birth rate does not decline for some time. It is resistant, it is stubborn, and then that also declines. And then it cancels out. What is this? This is the first stage, which is having high birth rate, high death rate, low population. Remember this, population is low over here. Get that? This is one stage. This is another stage. This is called the transition stage. This is called pre-transition. This is called post-transition. And during this time, what happens? The population shoots up. And here the population again becomes steady. Get that? So this is high stationary stage. Get that? Rather, this is low stationary stage. And this is high stationary stage. Get that? This stage is called an equilibrium stage. This is the stage where population explosion happens because a gap is created. This part is called early transition. This part is called late transition. And what is high? Birth rate and death rates are high. What is stationary? Population is stationary. Can you see low birth rate, low death rate. Why do we call it low? Stationary. Is everyone clear? This is the ideal DTT graph. Every country's population will go through this. That is what Thompson and Notestein said. What did Thompson and Notestein tell us? That every country, as it makes a socio-economic transformation, it will make a population transformation also. This is called demographic transition. Pre-transition, primitive society; post-transition, a modern society. And during transition, your population experiences an explosion. Do we get that? Is the graph clear to all? This is an ideal one. This is an ideal one. And this is real Indian transition. Is everyone with me on this? Everyone with me on this? You've also drawn that? For how long have we been in the transition? Can someone tell me what is the data for 2021 for CDR death rate as per NFHS? जल्दी बता दो क्या वैल्यू है और बर्थ रेट की भी वैल्यू बता दो. I'll plot it. NFHS में डेटा डाला है ना? सब लोगों के पास डेटा है, जल्दी से डालो. So these are real things एग्जाम में बनाना है. I'm not just doing it for explaining. These are your tools. Use them in the exam. Be confident about it. Quickly tell me what's the value. ग्राफ में भी आया ना जो मैंने सबमिट किया. Check everyone. So death rate आ गया 6 पर 2019 and that has come to 19.7. Yes or no? Birth rate has come from economic survey नहीं NFHS से बताओ. NFHS is 17. Okay, NFHS is 17. So amazing. यहाँ पर आ गया 17. Can you see plotting 17? 17 as per. Can I write it as NFHS because I don't have the census data? And how much is the death rate, everyone? Death rate is 7. Perfectly okay. So that is around 7. वो अपना 7 ही है. How much is the gap? 17 minus 7 is equal to 10. Is everyone okay? So everyone tell me, is your graph, is your data updated? Your NCRT has old data. Is your graph done? Everyone clear about this? So important. How long have we been in this transition? India has been in the transition for 100 years. And everyone, when the graph is, everyone please pay attention. When the graph shows that the gap between them has reduced, so can you see our growth is happening? Growth will happen, keep on happening. But is the growth happening at a slower pace? Is it slowing down? Can you see the angle which was here? Is the angle changing? Everyone, this is for exam. This is not for entertainment. To be drawn in exam. So how will I remember data? Did I use any data anywhere? Only thing is somewhere here 45, somewhere here 40, somewhere here. How much was it? Around 30. And how much is it? Around this thing. तो थोड़ा सा याद रखना है. ये तो easy है. 8 and 7 ये आ गया. इधर मैंने I did not write anything. इधर क्या है? 250, 350, 680, 1.2. That I'll make you write down. Don't worry. Is everyone with me? NCRT में भी. What is the expected one? What is the expected one? It should have closed. How long does it take? How long does it take? Europe took 30 years. Yes. Kerala took 40 years. Europe took 30 years to close. Kerala took 40 years to close. Is everyone getting a data also? Are you getting a data? India is not just Kerala. India is all of it. 100 years plus because it has not closed till now. Does it make any difference if you take longer during transition? Everyone? Does it make a difference if you stay longer in the transition? If yes, what? If yes, what? Sure, population keeps growing. No. Population keeps expanding. Yes, very, very important. So as long as we are here, the population will keep on expanding. I want to tell you that 2001, 2011, 19 or let me make it a little to the scale. Everyone please pay attention. 1991. Just telling you something. This is 1991. This is 2001. Is everyone with me on this? Do you know how much did we add? We added around 180 million people. Here also we added 180 million people. Despite a slowdown. Can you see slowdown? Can you see slowdown is happening? Growth with slowdown. Signs of slowdown, can I say? Signs of slowdown. But absolute increase, absolute number remains not only same, but also very big. As I told you, the population of Pakistan, Brazil, Pakistan, you know, some population like that. So we've been constantly adding. The longer a country stays in this, the more its population grows. So what should be the policymakers? What should be the policymakers' idea? about demographic transition. What should the policy maker do? Everyone think about it and tell me. Policy maker का goal क्या होना चाहिए? Policy makers of a country, what should they do? Transition will come, it's inevitable, yes or no? Transition will come, it is inevitable. What should they do? विशाल बोला bring down CBR. देखो विशाल, everyone and विशाल के लिए और बाकी सबके लिए बता रहा. This is CBR. This comes down. Who brings it down? Government. How does government bring it down? Government brings it down by providing you better healthcare, by providing you vaccination, by providing you low-cost medicine, by providing it wherever vaccine is possible. Yes or no? Can government do that? Can a poor country's government do that? Yes or no? No, sir. UN helps them. UN can give them aid. No. Can they do it? Even in Africa, they've been able to bring down the death rate. So governments can. Governments can, through their funds or through international aid, can they bring it or not? True? Yes. Now somebody said, sir, by bringing down, policy makers, by bringing down birth rate. I want to tell you, government cannot do this. If government has to bring down your birth rate, government has to enter your bedroom. Sanjay Gandhi entered the bedroom. Yes or no? And then you know what happened. Indira Gandhi had to give emergency for that. Now you want Amit Shah to enter your bedroom. अगर अमित शाह आपके bedroom में पाए गए, तो भाई tension हो जाएगी. Yes or no? So coercive methods are not the methods, because birth government cannot control. Birth is a social decision. Husband and wife, they decide the family size. That is why I said National Family Health Survey clearly shows that a girl child who's educated, she can talk to her husband. She can talk to the family that we should not have big children. Yes or no? True or not? So when the government comes with coercion, there are problems. So this is what? This is the social decision. And how will this decision happen? How will this decision happen? When people are educated, when people have economy. पैसा भी होना चाहिए कि नहीं? पैसा होगा सब कुछ. Remember, poverty breeds population. So society takes time. When they are aware that how to control the births, contraceptives, awareness is there, availability is there, so it takes time. Do you get that? So policy makers, so when somebody says, sir, policy maker को क्या करना चाहिए? Sir, birth rate कम कर देनी चाहिए. सुनो, कोई फोन पे बताएगा तुमको इतने बच्चे करने हैं, तुम मान जाओगे? Yes or no? Government says इतने बच्चे पैदा करने हैं, मान जाओगे? मान सकते हो if you are a believer of 8 बजे 8 मिनट 8 चम्मच मारने हैं, तो that's okay. That's okay. उससे वो करोना को हो जाएगा. But if you are a complete self-dignified human being, you will make your choices about your family size. True or not? So that's what I'm saying. So a policy maker, his role is to facilitate the quickest transition. True or not? I want to tell you, India became the first country in the world who had a family control program. 1951, immediately after independence, India became the first country in the world to formally announce a birth control, family control program. कहीं और नहीं था दुनिया में. Immediately after that, you may curse Nehru for whatever you want, whatever you've been told, but I want to tell you, all the people of that time's Congress were aware of something called as demographic transition theory. They knew India is in the transition stage, and if Indians are not made aware of that, or the policymakers do not manage this transition, our population growth can create such a huge population size that it will become almost impossible to manage it. And despite that early work, you can imagine India has been batting for last 100 years. Yes or no? 2020 को हमने क्या कर दिया? Test match खेल रहे, and some people are still batting. True? Do we get that? ये समझ में आ गया? And can we see, apart from this graph, this has created a north-south divide in India. True. Southern Indian states have completed their transition. Southern Indian states have completed their transition. Northern Indian states are still batting. They are still in their transition stage. Do we get that? I also want to tell you everyone, today not many are in this stage. Probably some tribals in India, some tribals, say Sentinelese, they might be in this stage. Get that? But if you're looking at other groups, I would say the minorities, Muslims are here. Hindus are here. Sikh, Christians are here. Parsis, Jains are here. They have completed the transition. Everyone, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that the socio-economic level as you come towards the right is improved, is better? True or not? Some people have this religion theory. Somebody has religious motive and all that. Can you see transition? Who has made the transition? The communities which were able to have the socio-economic development faster. Can I say this side is urban India, this side is rural India? Rural India, still the population size be more, joint families. Urban India, this simple graph. Simple graph you can show in the examination, be it a rural urban divide in India. Can I say this is still North India? North Indian states. Can I say this is South Indian states? Everyone with me? Now this NCERT would not be talking of. But when you are an optional student, I said you should be able to think and link. But should you be confident in drawing the graph? If you have not practiced it, and you think that you will draw the graph once you reach the examination hall, my experience, my students' experience, I want to tell you, it will not happen. So as I said, my class are aimed at you come, you have read it, amazing, and now you are putting it into action. Does it make sense, everyone? Are you comfortable with this? Graphical understanding is there. Have I also brought down rural, urban? Now, everyone, if I want to think about it, if I want the rural areas to make the transition faster, what should I do? Rural areas to make the transition faster, what should I do? Should I make them angry with the urban people? Should I make them hate them? Okay, everybody's saying employment, education, employment, but rural area doesn't have much employment. You have done the agriculture chapter with me. You say economic upliftment. Within the agriculture, remember, there is what? There is disguised unemployment. So Sonal says remove poverty. Very good. Remove poverty, economic upliftment, create opportunities. And remember, there's something called as agriculture diversification, rural industrialization, agro-based industries. Do you see the previous chapters connecting over here? Everyone remember, 95% of the roads in India are rural roads. Rural roads are Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Important, needed or not. So give them the connectivity. Do you need? Bring out whatever you have. Whatever you learned in my previous classes. Sir, there, transport, communication, internet, jana chahiye. Internet, electricity, everything should reach or not. Vishal says initiatives like Pura. So Vishal is talking about government scheme called Pura, P-U-R-A, providing urban amenities to rural areas. People who don't know Pura, बाद में भी बताएंगे. Yes, so there are renewal missions going on. You can do that also. One is this. Second, as Sonal rightly said, let us bring them health infrastructure, better health facilities. They would know how to control the birth. Rural area, they don't know. Yes or no? Or probably those unmet needs of contraceptives are there. Institutional deliveries will be there. Institutional deliveries means there will be no child, जो हम देखते हैं female feticide, those evils will be gone. True or not? Better record keeping of health will be there. The woman, जच्चा और बच्चा दोनों को बचाया जा सकता है, और IMR and MMR both can be reduced. Makes sense. Makes sense. Think about these are practical things. Give them employment, give them awareness, give them the healthcare facilities, rural areas. Everybody raise your hands if India is trying to do that for rural areas. Mostly तो urban area ही show कर रहा है, isn't it? The rural areas are meeting the needs of urban areas. The media that we see is urban media. The show that we see everywhere, the noise is about urban. True or not? If inflation goes up, food grain inflation, urban area की मार पड़ गई. And I want to tell you, people are leaving rural to reach urban. That's also creating problems or not? So I'm saying urbans are the growth engines of the country, so urban has to be there. But what will happen is, if urban is the growth engine of the country and we start ignoring the rural, that divide can never be completed, and the transition will be slowed down. Everyone with me? Let me take you to the next question. Next question. How can the north-south divide in demographic transition be rectified? Remember why Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, Odisha, West Bengal, ये क्यों पिछड़ रहे हैं in demographic indices? Why is their population growth rate high? जल्दी से बताओ why? Do you see the healthcare is poor? Do you see the literacy is poor? Do you see the status of women is poor? Yes or no? Do you see employment is low? Do you see economic independence is low? That's it. So क्या करना चाहिए? And if you say social infrastructure, economic infrastructure, employability, education, healthcare. Tell me, is UP government talking about this, or Bihar government talking about this, or West Bengal government is talking about this, or Madhya Pradesh? ये तो सब मंदिर मस्जिद कर रहे हैं, अभी तक कर रहे हैं. Aren't they doing that? Bihar is talking of caste. Do you think MP chief minister is trying to project himself as a person who's going to give employment? आजकल chief minister क्या अपने को project करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं? Arvind Kejriwal is trying to project that I can also recite Hanuman Chalisa. True or not? That's very good. That's very good. He says I am a Hanuman Bhakt. That's amazing. But Hanuman Chalisa के बाद, let's come to socio-economic. Now, I think Delhi government has worked on socio-economic. Yes or no? Delhi government has worked on socio-economic. Then we see that they start saying these are freebie people. If giving internet, if giving better schools, then that's there. Then politics come. If something good is happening, that we will criticize. If something bad is happening, that we will criticize. Same for the government. Government को धर्म बचाना है. Yes or no? I'm saying I am so glad that the initial leaders, post-independence, first 20 years, their core goal was that bring out Indians out of poverty, deprivation, and make India on the road, go on the road towards development. I don't know whether that slogan by 2047 भी है, we will become developed country. Yes or no? True or not? हमारा पर कैपिटा इनकम इतना हो जाएगा, कितना? $20,000 per person. कहाँ से चाचा आएगा, कहाँ से चाचा? वो तो समझ में आ गया, वो तो जाएगा. You said something 7 years ago also. I think 2022 का ही वादा है ना, फार्मर की इनकम डबल हो जाएगी, एम्प्लॉयमेंट ही एम्प्लॉयमेंट, हर घर एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. 2020 has come by, 2022 has come. So be a wise, mature, unbiased citizen of the country. Look at the promises given by your leaders, whether your state leaders or your center leaders, and do not buy promises that ये promise गया अब नया वाला. True or not? Their present results will be a guarantee of their future promises. Sir, they are saying nothing about doubling the farmer income because वो तो हो चुका है. Farmers' income has already been doubled. Yes or no? India has already opened defecation free. India has no child labor. India has no use of plastic, single-use plastic. Yes or no? Prince is saying, sir, in the independence speech, there was no mention of doubling the farmer income. I'm just saying in the independence Day speech, there were promises for 2022. What else? It's a good time to talk. Naman says, does TFR of 2.0 in NFHS imply that we have completed the transition? But 2.1 means that we have reached the replacement level. We have reached the replacement level. Transition will be completed when your birth rate and death rate become equal. Do you get that? And sir, no talk about impact of climate change on farming. अरे कितना बुलवाओगे यार, मोदी जी से हर चीज थोड़ी बुलवाने वाले हो तुम. Yes or no? You are being a critic. I am just saying one thing, that whatever were the promises, they should be talked about. You know, my heart is about this and that. Your heart might be looking at something else. From the leader of my nation, I want that before new promises, new taller promises are given, are the previous promises delivered. But then if all of us believe that, our promises have been delivered, so okay. So job everywhere, yes. So I am very, very sure that it was economy will create so many jobs, the economy will go to the next level and all that. Well, we can say that it is the global economy. COVID did not do it, but I know that even before COVID, there were issues. So I'm saying the transition will happen in North Indian states if their chief ministers, if their policymakers are talking about bringing in that socio-economic transformation to everyone. अभी राजस्थान में हुआ है, some boy who died because the teacher was beating him. Yes or no? Yes. So the issue is the boy was Dalit and the teacher was non-Dalit. Rajasthan, was it casteism or not? I don't know. But is casteism a reality in the country? True or not? So tell me, a country that is steeped in casteist ideology, will that second stage ये आएगा? Remember, ये तो caste में चल रहा है, ये तो communal भी हो सकता है. Save your religion, have babies. True or not? The whole theory will be gone or not? Patriarchy, racial. Some people have, whites and blacks, racial. Possible or not? So society has to go beyond that. Society has to grow beyond that. Sir, optimum replacement level means birth rate is equal to death rate, isn't it? So by optimum replacement level, अभी तो replacement level आया 2.1 की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं. Yes or no? That will come. Let us see. They will almost come at the same time. So census होने तो दो. Maybe the birth rate and death rate have come closer. True or not? So optimum replacement level is that, number one. Second is replacement level does not mean population stabilization. That's the step towards population stabilization. That's first is replacement level has been there. Whether the population will stabilize or not, that will take some time after that. Do you get that? So North Indian should do that. अच्छा, ये Muslim and Hindu population. I'll be talking about minorities in tomorrow's class. I will give you data also of all the religions, so you will have that. Remember, in our syllabus we have minorities also. So you told me rural areas, how can we bring their population down? You told me how the population of North can also be brought down. How can the population of Muslims be brought down? By painting a community or a religion as a villain? By blaming them, तुमसे ही बच्चे हो रहे. You can do that. You can see governments do that because governments have a benefit in doing that. Most of the committees have found out that Muslim community socio-economic indices are much poorer than the Hindu community. Literacy levels are low, economics are low, healthcare is low. So कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. True or not? The status of women and their religious views. You can be told all those stories. But I'm saying the antidote to rural area, to Muslims, to North India, antidote is socio-economic development. In fact, if urban areas start blaming rural areas, rich people start blaming poor people that you are causing birth, is it fair? Southern Indian states start saying North India, तुम लोग बच्चे पैदा करो, is it fair? करके दिखाए, North India मानता भी नहीं है, true or not? So Kerala government recently wrote to the Prime Minister about the financial devolution. And financial devolution, it was being talked about, the Finance Commission would be giving funds based on the population. So Kerala government said that we have been able to control the population. Are we being punished for that? More population will get more funds. Then so let us also go further. True or not? So as per the requirement, why should population be the criteria? Population was never the criteria. If that is the criteria, would it be an incentive to cut down on population? Yes or no? They said we've really done well. We've really invested in our social and economic infrastructure. We've invested in the status of women. We've invested in healthcare. We've brought that mindset change in the minds of people, and they've been able to make transition. Now, because our population is small and shrinking, should we be punished for that? Is the logic correct or not? True or not? So think about it. Just a thought, everyone. This is what NCERT has not given. So please write down. Population distribution we have already done on the map. Yes or no? Did we do density also yesterday? Density का भी मैंने map बना दिया था, but फिर भी this is the density map. So if you are making which belt is denser? Can you see this belt is denser and another dense belt is here? Yes. Can I call this as moderate? Can I call them as low? Did we look at the geographical reasons why this pattern is like this? Yes. So we've already done that. Plain region, desert region, too cold, too this thing, say this is for the lowest. We've already done that. We have already done that. So I'm just showing you a graph. You should have done this. Density of population, I told you 325, 382. Now it is going towards 400 plus. Have we done this? Density, let us compare also. Can you see? First Kerala was there. अगर मुझे densest करने हो तो ये मुझे याद रहना चाहिए. Top 3 तो should be there with me. So we have Bihar as the highest now. After that is West Bengal, and then Kerala, and then UP. Am I correct or am I mistaken? कल मैंने कुछ आपको दिया होगा. Correct? Must know this. I also want to tell you an interesting fact. 1991, Kerala was the densest populated state. 2001, West Bengal was the densest populated state. 2011, Bihar is the densest populated state. You can understand what is happening. The birth rates are still high in Bihar and West Bengal. True. Kerala ne roka hai. So that's also we will be looking at. Everyone okay with this? Then we went for the growth rate. So growth rate from NCERT, stages of population growth in India. So please write down, give the heading, stages of population growth in India. Stages of population growth in India. Please write down. Indian population growth can be seen across the stages of demographic transition. Can be seen across the stages of demographic transition. And can be divided into the following temporal categories. Okay, stage 1 up till 1921. This is called high stationary. Stage 2, 1921 to 1951. This is called low expanding. Stage 3, 1951 to 1981. Rapid expansion. Stage 4, 1981 to present. Expanding with definite signs of slowdown in rate of growth. Can I write down? Refer NCERT for write up. This will save me the dictation. Can I? NCERT में दिया हुआ कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Either we will write a special thing. 1921, the Great Indian Demographic Divide. India entered transition. So entering transition is always considered a big thing in the demographic history of a country. So India entered the transition in 1921. So the year 1921 is considered the Great Indian Demographic Divide. Everyone clear? Give me a green on this up to this point, then I'll move further. So in my classes, there will be some concept building, there will be some homeworks, there will be some graphs, maps, drawing, all those works, and some dictation also, so that your notes are also there, you learn your answer writing also, and you keep growing in the process. If you're lazy, if you are procrastinating, aaj nahi kal kar lunga, trust me, you will do your optional only with the optional teacher. Otherwise, most of the time, you will never get time to leave your GS. So make sure when you are doing these classes, you optimize them. Whatever homeworks are there, whatever readings are there, you will thank me for this. When you are serious preparation in this, when your prelims is over, you will thank me for this, that sir had taken me through the books. I have my notes with me. I don't have any fear. I have looked at the previous year questions also. I've looked at the syllabus also. Things are in my command. That's what we are talking about. And between prelims and mains, I run my master stroke program, which I did not run this year. Master stroke answer writing test series program. This year, I reduced it to only a selected group of students who are given that program absolutely free, because on the online format, I was finding it a bit challenging to conduct that ambitious master stroke program. उसमें बहुत rigorous काम होता है. So online में थोड़ा सा मुझे problem हो रहा था in conducting that. So I just selected few people and based on that interest. So आपके time में I would be around, तो कुछ तो किया जाएगा, but from your side all this should be done. Is everyone okay? Shali. So you've written this, you've written the stages, and you've written refer NCERT for write up. Please write down further. These stages are more or less. These stages are more or less in line with the demographic transition theory. But apart from the sequence of stages, the temporal aspect of these stages, in bracket you can write down duration of stages. If you don't know what is temporal aspect or duration of stages, you can put it in the bracket, is very unique to India, and does not essentially correspond to the transition that happened in the developed world. Does not correspond to the transition that happened in the developed world. India entered the transition stage in 1921. India entered the transition stage in 1921. However, unlike developed countries, Indian demographic transition, unlike developed countries, Indian demographic transition seems to be taking an abnormally longer time. It has been more than 100 years. That India has been in the transition. It has been more than 100 years that India has been in the transition stage. In bracket you can write down, European transitions took around 3 decades. European transitions took around 3 decades. Bracket close. Some scholars believe that India is caught in a demographic trap. India is caught in a demographic trap, unable to extricate. India is caught in a demographic trap, unable to extricate herself from the transition stage. Extricate herself from the transition stage. What's a demographic trap? Demographic trap is nothing but a prolonged stay in transition stage. Everyone with me on this? India फंसा हुआ demographic trap. Get that? Next paragraph. In fact, as per 2011 census, the decadal growth rate had come down to 17.6%. Had come down to 17.6%, indicating a slowdown, in the accelerated population growth rate, indicating a slowdown in the accelerated population growth rate. However, this slowdown has not closed the gap between birth rate and death rate. Even till now. So 2021 gap, birth rate minus death rate is equal to 10. You can write down in bracket itself. Can you see in your answers, when you're writing answers on population, you will have to support with data also, even till now. In fact, next line in the same sentence. In fact, there has been an absolute increase of 180 million. There has been an absolute increase of about 180 million persons in each of the last two censuses, 1991 to 2001 and 2001 to 2011. In absolute terms, this is a very big number. In absolute terms, this is a very big number. In absolute terms, this is a very big number to be added every decade. A very big number to be added every decade. Experts attribute this huge increase. Experts attribute this huge increase to the present age-sex structure. To the present age-sex structure of Indian population, in which age-sex structure of Indian population, in which the population is largely young. And a significant size of population, lies in the reproductive age group. A significant population size lies in the reproductive age group. Is everyone with me on this? Population is increasing. We are in a demographic trap, though there are signs of slowdown. But the problem is that the absolute number keeps on increasing. That's a very big number, 180 million. And last 2 decades, every decade it has been 180 million. And the experts are saying this will happen, is not avoidable, because our population makeup is such that we have a young population, and that population is in the reproductive age group. Even if they choose to have one child, even then, the absolute number that will come, so that is also there. Can we say, like this is also large base effect? Large base effect means these are dependents, In fact, our pyramid is like this. India's pyramid is like this. So this is our, most of our population lies here. Do we get that? Young age group, reproductive age group. And if they are not given work, काम नहीं होगा तो कामसूत्र होगा. True or not? So it is good that UPSC, SSC, and all the exams are keeping this young reproductive group constructively engaged. I think अग्निवीर भी अच्छी चीज है. अग्निवीर में जाओ, यहीं पे सिर्फ जुबान केसरी ना करें. True? Is everyone okay? So this was about that. One more thing, one more paragraph. I want you to do that. So please write down. Apart from the temporal, remember geography is spatial also. Apart from the temporal changes in population, apart from the temporal changes in population growth of India, apart from the temporal changes in the population growth of India, apart from temporal changes in the population growth of India, one can see distinct spatial trends also. One can see distinct spatial trends also. One can see distinct spatial trends also. Is everyone okay? Spatially speaking, and when I use the word spatially, to SPATIALLY, there will be many who will write specially speaking. भाई दो अलग हैं, एक special से एक spatial means where. Spatially speaking, there is a clear north-south divide. There is a clear north-south divide in India's population growth rate. The southern Indian states and UTs, southern Indian states and UTs entered and exited the transition stage earlier. Tamil Nadu and Puducherry entered the transition in 1970s. Get that? Country as a whole 1920 से चल रहा है, but when we are talking about 1970s, get that? Or rather, entered and completed. So entered तो पहले वो चल ही रहा था, primitive stage, entered in 1970s, and by 2000 completed the transition. By 2000 they had completed the transition. Bihar, can I say entered the early transition? कर लेते हैं इसको. Transition तो पहले हो गया होगा. Bihar and other EAG states are still in early transition, moving towards late transition. So everyone, do we have a reason for a map here? A is what? A is southern Indian states. Example, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry. And what is B? Bihar and other EAG states. What are EAG states? EAG states क्या होते हैं? Empowered Action Group states. So first we had Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. Get that? These states were performing poorly on the socio-economic indices. So Professor Bose, an economist, called these states as Bimaru states. That Bimaru states are lagging behind. These states did not like the word Bimaru. They said this is not a good thing. So हमें क्या करना चाहिए? Change this name. We will not allow. This is the derogatory term. Bimaru क्यों कहा आपने? So they said, okay, change the name. आपका नाम हो गया Empowered Action Group. You are EAG states, which includes Bihar, and what came out of Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, and what came out of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, nothing came out of it, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, UP and Uttarakhand. Is everyone okay? Odisha was looking at this. They said, we also don't feel power. So they said, okay, one box is empty. You can also join it. Odisha. Is everyone okay? What are Empowered Action Group states? EAG states. बोलते हैं इनको. So these are the ones which have been lagging behind on these development indices, and as a result, this is not able to deliver the results. Is everyone with me on this? Are we clear? Now let's listen to very important thing. More than 45% of Indian population lives in EAG states. More than 45% of Indian population lives in EAG states. Everyone, remember 45% population is in which bracket? Which stage are they in? Which stage are they in? Early to late transition. Priyank says EAG. EAG nahi beta. Which stage of DTT? Can I say they're still batting? Can I say still batting? If they continue to bat, will Indian population continue to increase? Everyone, anyone who says Muslims are responsible for the population growth in India, remember, EAG states are also responsible. So you should be willing to accept that also, that UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh are causing the population increase. अगर किसी को एंटी नेशनल बनाना है तो भाई स्टेट्स भी है एंड बी वेरी क्लियर is it under our control or is it clearly a reflection of the socio-economic status? True or not? If I spread fears in the minds, inferiority in the minds of any group, will they further, rather than doing what is to be done, will they further do something wrong? Yes or no? So in my offline center, I was just asking and there was some promotion and my center manager was a little perplexed. So I asked him what happened. What happened? He said, one of our South Delhi center, no sir, there was some scene. This boy, he said, my girlfriend has left me, so I want to commit suicide. I'm depressed. Preparing for UPSC, girlfriend has left me, I want to commit suicide. Yes. So I looked at my center manager. I said, nonsense, sir. They are here to prepare for the examination, or the girlfriend has left me, I want to commit suicide. And he was on the roof, wanted to jump from there. I said, you should not entertain such students. He said, sir, if I do not entertain this student, he will jump off the roof. I said, so what? He said, sir, you are director. You will go to the prison, chakki piecing, stop them. Then I realized, oh my God, ये तो मेरे ऊपर आएगा. मोहब्बत इसकी, गर्लफ्रेंड इसकी, फेलियर इसका, फंसूंगा मैं. ऐसे क्या किया? बोला, सर, I talked him into it. ऐसे ऐसी तो आती रहती हैं. We talked, and he wanted to jump. जैसे बात करते, we caught him, tied him down, called up his parents, उठा के ले जाओ. Because अब दोबारा करेगा. And if something happens, ऐसे बच्चे से बांध दिया. बोला, सर, पूरा बांध के रखा. अभी ये कर लेगा, अभी तो छत पे गया, then he do something else. We are in thick soup. True or not? So can I say center manager applied his sense that right now this child can do something which is not sensible. So rather than blaming him or something, talk to him. Don't worry. कहाँ है नंबर दो, मैं बुलाता हूँ, मैं फोन करता हूँ, बेटा मैं तुम्हारे पिता समान हूँ. Don't worry, I will do that. सब कुछ किया. All the नाटक we had to do. नीचे भी लोगों को खड़ा किया, अगर कूद गया तो कैच करना. Net practice, everything we had did. That's such a big thing happening. So now if you start painting a community black, अरे तुम्हारी वजह से बच्चे पैदा हो रहे हैं. अरे यूपी से हो रहे, बिहार से हो रहे. True or not? Is that the way you want to control the population? Or would you talk sanity? I just give you an example to just bring out the fact that sometimes if I want someone to improve, someone to realize his or her latent potential, I must also appreciate and pat that person. I must also empathize and support that person, which unfortunately Indian society does not. There is no appreciation for what you get, but there's a lot of criticism for our failures. I'm saying I'm full of so much of appreciation that my students do in the homework submission. What say करते हो यार आप लोग? All of you are taking it, and people who are not taking it also, I invite them, I allow them. अच्छा कल कर देना है, कोई बात नहीं, I will look at it. And will there still be some people who will jump off the roof? Possible था ना? Possible था? Then I have to keep the catch also. But in online, मुझे इतना catch करने की जरूरत नहीं. Offline, तो I was worried then. Moment he said, sir, कुछ हुआ तो you will go. Who knows? It is because of you. You forced the student to jump. Although thankfully he was able to do that. We had his number. We called up his parents. They said पहले भी 2-4 बार जगह कूद रहा था. We said आ जाओ. This fellow should go for long jump, high jump, bring some medals for the country rather than for the girl he's jumping. He must change UPSC. He must go for something else. माँ बाप को भी बुलाया. ऐसा इसे देखो बच्चे को ऐसी स्टेज में मत भेज दिया करो. Do we get that? Please write down further. It won't be, we should be. Imagine, when we said, like the similar issues will happen. Did you hear of this thing, MNS, Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, under Raj Thackeray? Said, no people from Bihar and UP not allowed. Same thing, same hatred idea. You start blaming them. You start blaming people from Bihar and UP. They are migrating out because there are not much opportunities over there, and people from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh are meeting the much needed demand for labor in the country, skilled labor and cheap labor. True or not? But then, politicians can have their political chapatis ready just at the cost of some community, some region, some religion. Very, very easy. Very easy they can do that. True or not? So now that's what we're talking about. Even the present generation be aware of that. Sometimes it's very difficult to argue with an elder. जिसके दिमाग में ही है. because that person has been conditioned into this, that this person is doubtful, suspicious, or something like that. But can you people who are preparing for this examination, tomorrow you will be in those high administrative positions, can you people be rational about why things are happening? And will there be wrong elements everywhere? Will there be negative elements everywhere? Educated, not educated, can be there. Would you want to blame one person for the entire region? If someone from Bihar is involved in a crime, yes, should entire Bihar be painted black? So I heard of that migration of people from northeast out of Bangalore. Rumors were there, northeast walo ko aise karenge, waise karenge. All of them migrated out. Migrants are living in a very, very precarious situation. True or not? So they say, sir, even the youth, sir, not only the older generation, youth are still brainwashed with caste and all these. Yes, definitely, caste and communal things are there. Again, Sneha, what will stop that brainwashing? Education, literacy, status for women. Yes or no? The very thought of a rape, physically violating a human being. Rape, most of us think, like is only about, a man raping a woman. Childhood sex abuse are seen for both boys and girls. That's inhuman. Do you think it is to do with any religion? Young people, old people. Young people also, old people also. That is a criminal mindset. So where will it come? Where will it come? It will come from them, from the generation which is right now. They are to be told. So I'm sure, I don't know how many of you are into this, but since I'm a father, when my son goes to the school, right in the beginning, they are told about when people come and touch you, there is a good touch, there is a bad touch. You should be able to distinguish between that. Yes or no? So don't be isolated. Don't, be skeptical about people around you. ऐसा नहीं सब पे आपको शक करना है. But from the touch, you can make out which is a right touch, which is a wrong touch. And if it is a wrong touch, do not be ashamed about raising an alarm. True or not? I'm saying when this casteist thing is there, communal thing is there, you should be okay with what conversation is there. Is it a right conversation or is it a wrong conversation? If it's a wrong conversation, I'm sure, you must be questioning that. Please write down further. Please write down further. The southern Indian states in general, were able to control their growth rates and now their population growth rates are below the national average, below or around the national average. Their population growth rates are below or around national average. In bracket, you can say around 15%. Remember, national decadal growth was 17%. 17% tha. In 2011, it was 17%, so around 15%. And I want to tell you, Kerala is 5% decadal growth rate. So I just told you the growth rate, the decadal growth rate of these states are near or below national average. Get that? However, please write down, however, the story of North Indian states, particularly the EAG states, is totally different. With decadal growth rates, is totally different. With decadal growth rates above 20%, above or around 20%, these states are still in the expanding transition stage. As these states have nearly 45%, as these states have nearly 45% of India's population, as these states have nearly 45% of India's population, they are going to be the leading contributors. They are going to be the leading contributors to India's population growth in the coming decade. India's population growth in the coming decade. Okay. So if the country intends to, control the population growth, if the country intends to control the population growth, then the focus must be the EAG states. The focus must be the EAG states. Make sense, everyone? Can I say the population policies of India? Eastern UP and Bihar have the veto power. Eastern UP and Bihar have the veto power. No matter what population policy you make, जब तक हम नहीं चाहेंगे, the targets will not be achieved. But I would not want to paint them black because something amazing is happening. They have also started showing decline. Okay? So please write down. However, the good news is that of late, even the EAG states, the good news is that of late, even the EAG states have shown signs of reduction in their growth rates. Shown signs of reduction in their growth rates. Is everyone okay? Even the EAG states have started showing decline in their growth rates. International experience suggests that if such a process begins in any region, international experience suggests that if such a process begins in any region, the transition is completed quickly thereafter. It's like we need not worry. Now that their numbers have started coming down, that is also there. Okay, you can write down the recent findings of NFHS 5 suggesting India's TFR close to 2. Is a testimony to this fact. So have we looked at the NFHS? So TFR भी 2.0 के आसपास आ गया है. So remember 2.1 is replacement. We have come to that. And I also want to tell you, everyone, most of the states and UTs have come down. Their TFR has come to 2 or below 2. It is still UP and Bihar. Their TFR continues to be above that. Get that? So you know who's batting till now. अभी तक बैटिंग चल रही है और वो चलेगी. That's absolutely okay. Remember, wherever the economic status will continue to be like that, we will have to wait. With me on this? They're saying break. Okay, let's have a break. What's the time? Sorry, I forgot the break today. 16:48 to 16:55. 7 minutes break. Let's meet after the break. Hi everyone. Are we back? Just looking at the comments. What happened? Okay. So any questions in this? So the growth part is over. Is everyone okay? The growth part is over. So we must be able to understand that. Perfect. So let me look at some of our slides. So data is also needed. So as I said, my data will also be there. So decadal change in population, 2001, 2011. There was an increase of 181 million. So I told you around 180 million has been there. 90 million males, females is this. Growth rate of female is slightly higher than the males. Population in India, which at the turn of 20th century was around 238 million. Remember, we started with around 250. 250 million did I write down for 1921? Yes or no? Did I write down to 1921 250? Do you remember? So 250, but sir, 238. Remember that was low stationary, high stationary. So it will be around 250. In the early one, we jumped from 250 to 350 and 350 to around 680. Get that? These are around figures, so you can remember that. And the figures are details are given in NCERT also. Now we became around after 110 years, 2011, we were like this. So can I say nearly 5 times? Population of India has increased 3.35 times. Remember how much we were at the time of independence, 1951, 350 million. So 350 to 12. Can you see, is it 3.3 times? Yes or no? Or 3.5 times, whichever you want to take, that's there. The percentage decadal growth has been 17.7. So this a figure to be memorized. And national average was 17.7. It is close to 15 now that we are talking about. It would have come to 15. Population of India grew by 17.7. Previous decade, it used to be more than 20. Among the major states, highest decadal growth rate in population has been recorded in Bihar. Remember Bihar, how much is the value? More than 20%. 14 states and UTs have been, so can I say mostly EAG states ke paas hoga. Population growth rate of 2020 is projected to be 0.97. That is annual, not decadal. Decadal is around 50. That is 112th highest among 235 countries. So हम काफी growth पे चल रहे हैं. The population growth reached in 1970s. 70s में annual growth rate was, that is the peak value, 2.3%. India added 13 million people in 2021. 13 million. So this is annual, not decadal. Decadal, how much did we add? Around 180 million. Is everyone okay? The net increase in population per year has peaked in 1998. So that was the highest peak that we have. So peak has been reached and now India is stabilizing. Is everyone with me on this? So you have the data also, you have the clarity also. And can you see decadal change when we are looking at? So red color means which is 25 and above. Can you see entire EAG? Entire EAG was red in color. Now only Bihar is there. So Bihar is around 25. These are around 20 to 25. Makes sense? So this is where we bring the map also. And I'm sure today on the Telegram group, you would have seen somebody using that innovation even for the map on NFHS. Okay? Population control. Karna chahiye, nahi karna chahiye, karna chahiye. So we have a topic called population policy in our syllabus. Population policy. So why do population policy mean national, population policy of 1975, I think, and national population policy of 2000. Get that? We've had two population policies, 1975 and 1975 and 2000. Get that? We'll be talking about these population policies later on, but broadly, India's population policies have been antenatal. Antenatal means we are not about having more births. We are about somehow we must go into birth control. So initially, it started with birth control. Birth control. So birth control. You know, when a child is in adolescent age, adolescence is called an age of a revolution. Our body experiences bodily changes, hormonal changes, and people are a little on the revolutionary side. So if you push them कि ये नहीं करना तो जरूर करते. True or not? When an adolescent kid is told that don't do this, he will make sure that I do this. True or not? If you are walking on a road and on that road there is a board which says not allowed to look inside this house, your automatic curiosity would be, you would have this feel or not? So India initially started with birth control. Birth ko control karna. In fact, India had a birth control league even before independence. So the moment people say, no, control this, you must not eat too much sweet, you must not do this, you must not spend too much, you must not spend too much time on video games or fashion or whatever. Yeah, kuch to karne do, jeene do. India has matured from that. Now we don't say birth control. What do we say? We say family welfare. Make sense? Which one is more mature? Which one is development with regeneration? Family welfare. If you are looking for your welfare of your family, what will it be? You will automatically control the birth. True or not? So there was this slogan. What was the slogan? Hum do, hamare do. Hum do, hamare do. Okay? We two adults and ours, 2 kids. That's a different story. Hum do, hamare do. धर्म की रक्षा के लिए और दो. जितना हो सके देते रहो. तुमसे ना हो तो हमें भी मौका दो. So don't get into that. Get that? Hum do, hamare do was the nara. So 2 children. There was spacing also. They said we should have, every family should have 2 children and there should be a spacing of 3 years between 2 children. Have you heard of this or not? Do you know what is the slogan now? I think Amitabh Bachchan was putting an ad on that. What is the slogan in India now? Hum do, hamara do nahi. And unfortunately, utna ad nahi aata. Pehle aata tha. Pehle to Doordarshan was the only one. So there will be hum do, hamare do everywhere, family planning, and that was that. I don't know how many of you have seen that advertisement. The advertisement goes like that. Second child only after we can support. We have everything to support the second child. So now they're not saying that we should have 2 children. Now we are saying have the decision for a second child only when you have the means to support it. Remember Malthusian capacity? That same idea. Is everyone okay? बच्चा एक ही अच्छा, तो अब बच्चा एक ही अच्छा में तो मान नहीं रहे ना, तो हमें दूसरा भी चाहिए, हमें दूसरा बच्चा भी चाहिए. True or not? एक में तो like I have 1 son. Get that? So my parents said only 1. I said yeah, only 1. They said we'll be lonely. I said why? Why would he be lonely? I'm there, my wife is there, you are there. What else? और कितना कंपनी? नहीं, बच्चे को बच्चा ही समझ सकता है. I said the neighbors are also working. No, they are also batting. उनके भी बच्चे. In the mohalla, they are there. Cricket team. You don't have to have your own cricket team. All of us, isn't it amazing? You go to the neighbor's style also. He's a wicket keeper, he's a bowler, and all that. And remember, there are some losers also. Why would you do the leg pulling of your own brother and sister? पड़ोसी के बच्चे करो यार. क्या tension? If he doesn't know how to catch an easy ball, वो catch लेने खड़ा, ball नहीं catch कर पाता है. पढ़ना चाहिए उसको. True or not? I said neighbors are also working. Don't worry. They said नहीं, but still, you are the eldest in the family. I said even if I was youngest, 1 is enough. No. What will the other your siblings think? तुम्हारे भाई बहन क्या सोचेंगे? You will set the model. I said I'm setting the model. If I have 1, they should also go for 1. What's wrong with that? No, but the child is very lonely. So 1 year, so they felt the child is lonely. I said फुर्सत नहीं मिलती है. दो when you have a kid, taking care of a kid, young born, at least 2 years of your life तो एकदम हिला डालता है बच्चा. Moment now the kid is playing with grandpa and grandma, नहीं अभी भी अकेला है. I said, you learn stories. It is your age to tell the stories to the kid. अच्छी story सुनाओ यार. Do your homework. Do some brainstorming. Then they started, no, now it's 3 years. You should have. There is a gap between 3 years. That's okay. I said, look, immediately after the first kid, I was clear I'm not having more. No, but he's lonely. I said, did you see last 3 years he's had all of us? All of us क्या पड़ोस भी आके खेल के जाते बच्चे से. What else do you want here? No, मतलब it's a balanced family if you have both. You have a son, if you have a daughter also, it will be balanced. I said, if it is another son, then what will happen? Another imbalance. Then I'll have to go for the third one. True or not? Then they realize ये मानेगा नहीं. Then this child belongs to us. ये तो हमारा हुआ. अब तू अपने लिए कर ले. There was never a deal. A donation program was never there. This child is for the grandparents, and now you will have another one. I said, no donation. Mine is mine. He is your grandson. Take care of it. Yes, sir. Now, how many of you here have been brought up by your grandparents? ऐसी भी families हैं India में. That many of you are brought up by your grandparents. Parents are moving around and job के लिए grandparents के पास है. ऐसा होता है? बहुत से लोगों का. Get that? So that's there. So that's my thinking on that. But people can be different. So I have a batchmate. I am now reaching 44. I have a batchmate. She already has 2 sons. Her one son is in 12th standard. Another son is in 8th standard. And last year she had another son. Means समझ में नहीं है. All progressive, well educated, in a job. 3rd child. Good. People might blame lockdown. Yes, sir. Many people say lockdown में बच्चे बढ़ गए. अरे lockdown में the chemists were open. Who said you are living in an urban area? You don't know how to control birth. At 43, you choose to have another child. 2 लड़के पहले, एक और आ गया. And then she puts a photograph, complete family. नहीं अभी complete का है. Where do you draw the line? अभी तो even basketball team is not ready. 2 people more needed. Yes or no? Cricket is later on. So शायद लड़की चाहिए होगी. अरे यार लड़की चाहिए होगी. At 43, लड़की हिम्मत दिखाकर फिर से एक बच्चा पैदा कर रही है. Adopt a girl. What's wrong? Yes or no? Is it wrong to adopt a child? I told my parents. I said, if you insist, I'll adopt a child. I'm not looking to have more children. No, बच्चा तो अपना ही होना चाहिए. अरे अपना ही होगा. Even after adoption अपना ही होगा. थोड़ी कहूँगा पड़ोसी का है. The child will be adopted. But then such conversations are not there in the society. Such conversations are not there in the society, and I cannot change their mindset. But to a generation that I'm speaking of, do you realize that family welfare, it is not about birth control. I'm not talking to my parents that I am trying to control birth. I'm just saying it is family welfare. True or not? रमेश बोला कि अपना खून नहीं होगा ऐसे बोलते हैं. Whatever यार, I am to saying, like there are so many destitute people, children who were lost, and there are orphans who are living in the country. Yes or no? So अगर किसी की मदद कर सकते हैं तो वैसे कर दीजिए. Okay. So anyway, we are not on the topic. Let's continue on that. So I wanted to bring that idea that birth control से ज़्यादा important is family welfare. My decision to stop after 1 child is not birth control. Is nothing to do with the Hindu population or Muslim population. I feel the kind of work that I do, the kind of engagements that I have, the kind of life that I have for myself, I feel that having a child is a very big responsibility. I think for my parents, I did not know that whether it was having children was just about completing a family, or did they realize that it involves a responsibility. One soul is going to come in my life and I am going to nurture that soul. And I will cause many errors also. Yes, sir? You were children, you were growing, I don't know what errors have happened, my upbringing, whatever errors have happened, I am taking responsibility of 1 child. Because after that, I want to take responsibility of my life, my personal, my professional life. Is it a choice? I am saying you should feel proud of your choices. You should feel proud of your choices. It is not that you're having kids for some reason. I decide that a kid falls in that. I have certain friends who have decided not to have children. I respect that decision also. And someone who decided to have 3 children, even that's respectable. I have no issues. That's a choice. That's a choice. But the fact is, are you able to give welfare? Are you able to give welfare? Get that? Because of having more children, you are not able to take care of that, then that's a curse for you also and the child also. And please understand that having children does not mean only money. It is an emotional investment. It is a mental, psychological investment. And it is a very big social investment. You are creating a social entity also. True or not? Choti cheez nahi hai bhai. So that should be taken as that. Population size and its control has been a priority for demographers in India. Being the second most populous country, antenatal population policies were there. In fact, India became the first country to have birth control policy in 1951. However, with changes in demographic situation and in the light of current NFHS findings, we must align our population policy. Now, what I'm looking at is population control means something. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, population everyone is not just a statistic. Do you agree? Population is not just a statistic. Get it? Population is not a political tool. Get it? Population is not a burden or an asset till you see it in the wider context. So when will the population be a burden? Burden when your resources are less. And when it is an asset, when your resources are more. So that has to be a wider context, yes or no? So for someone who's making population policy, policymaker must look at that. And I also want to tell you, good population needs proper management. Get it? Burundi, 1/3 population is less than 15 years. छोटे बच्चों की population. Japan, Germany, old age population. India, young, working age population. Everyone, do you think it cannot be one solution to all? True or not? So population policy has to look at the wider context. Population policy has to look at the wider context. I'm saying Burundi is a population, young population, and about to explode or exploding population. Their size is increasing. Yes. India, explosion done. Old age shrinking. Explosion done, slow expansion. This is rapid expansion. Change. So everyone, because of this variable, one, and because of this variable, will the population policies be different or not? True. If you are really responsible, if you are really into that nation building, you will keep this in mind. Okay, next. This is LDC, least developed countries. This is developed country. This is developing country. Will it change? Third reason why your population policies cannot be the same. Yes or no? In one case, children are more. Your policy should be centered over children. And I want to tell you, Burundi, 10% of the children are orphans. Unke maa baap bhi nahi. Their population policy should be of that. There's a lot of human traffic happening. Child crimes are happening. Sexual abuses are happening. They are forced to live in deprivation, poverty. Yes or no? Malnutrition. Everything is there in Burundi. In India, young people are out there trying to prove their mettle, but they don't have the opportunity. They go to give the examination, paper leak ho raha hai. True or not? Results are not coming. Private sector, when they go, they are not skilled. The curriculums are not giving them the right skills. True or not? And then there are shortcuts. There is no ethics also in our education system. There are shortcuts you can take to crime. Possible? You can take to wrong methods, and then you can even go for short-term gains. Kya kare TikTok video? That's perfectly okay. TikTok video, I have no issues. But what about your education and skilling? True or not? Developed countries, they are having a shrinking workforce. इनकी अलग ही problem है. And there is bigger problem, geriatrics. Have you heard of thing called geriatrics? Old age care. यहाँ पर क्या है? Pediatrics. वहां बच्चों का केयर चाहिए, यहाँ पर geriatrics चाहिए. And tell me, both of them are costly or not? Both of them are costly because they are not economically productive age groups. They are not economically productive age groups. So Japan's policy, अभी आप सुन रहे जापान हुआ, यूरोप हुआ, they are facing huge problems in their economy. They are going in recession. True or not? Add to it climate change. दोनों को मार रहा है. बुरुंडी भी मार खा रहा है, जापान भी मार खा रहा है. Climate change is changing. Europe is undergoing a drought. ठीक है? इंडिया में भी तो हो रहा है. इंडिया तो सब खा रहा है. इंडिया फ्लड भी खा रहा है, ड्रॉट भी खा रहा है. कल if you heard the news, Gandhi Sagar and Jawahar Sagar dams, they had to release water in Madhya Pradesh, Chambal. आज के newspaper में I was reading one crocodile was found in a city in Madhya Pradesh. True or not? And England and France is having drought. अपने यहाँ तो ड्रॉट भी है, फ्लड भी. आपके घर के बाद ओपन द डोर एंड द क्रोकोडाइल सिटिंग ओवर देयर. व्हाट डू यू? कोई बात नहीं, इंडियन तो फिर भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं. क्रोकोडाइल है, कोई बात नहीं. You tell him that classes are going on, you also attend the class. You'll learn some geography, don't worry. And how many children do you have, Mr. Crocodile? Your population is getting extinct. You need not think antenatal, you think pronatal. Get that? You go back to Chambal, there is a national park over there, उसका ख्याल रखो. But then who knows? Many of you would start taking a selfie with the crocodile. ये YouTube पे लगाना है. Yes, sir. Different policies. And add to it the political masala which politicians will add. I don't know, I'm just being fair by calling it political masala. I'm saying it is political poison. Yes or no? You heard of the genocide that happened in Rwanda? The Hutus and Tutsis. Hutu, Tutsi. Two tribes in Rwanda. Rwanda radio spreading hatred. Hutus, Tutsis and militia comes and they start fighting. Another country that ekdam barbad ho gaya, Lebanon. One port, Beirut, blast happens. And after that, Muslims and Christians. Politicians, mafia is running that country. All they have to do is pit Muslims against Christians, fight karwa do, koई tension nahi, and you can be as corrupt as you want. True or not? region, religion, whatever you want to, Azerbaijan, Armenia, everything is like that. I want to tell you, wherever power is there and you want to retain power, it is very, very rare that you get a legitimate power. They will divide and rule. And once in power, they would not want to do that. So there is no reason to, people to be divided. Then people will start asking for their rights. True or not? So population policy is not a static tool, but it should be in light of what is there. And let us not discount that politics will also matter. Fourth factor, politics matter karega ki nahi? Politico-administrative setup of that area, will it matter or not? Can I also say the society? Society. I want to give you an example. Japan, Germany, very homogeneous society. In fact, Japan में एक ही है, सारे के सारे एक ही religion और एक ही चीज को समझते हैं. India is diversity. True or not? Burundi is tribal also and non-tribal also. Can we have the same policy? Can we just go by this thing 2.1, TFR 2.1, and if you have more than 2 children, then you are anti-national. The law does not apply to politicians. Politician को छोड़ के बाकी सब anti-national. True or not? You should eat only this food, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. If you are a politician, you can have hotels which can serve anything and everything. Okay. And still we will be praising the ministers. They are supposed to serve us. Are they serving us or not? I don't know. Okay, so who makes the population policy? The leaders and the executors. National population policy. कौन बना रहा था? लालू जी बना रहे थे. लालू जी making policy. लालू प्रसाद यादव जी. After making so many babies, you are making policy. Moral ground पे हट जाना चाहिए था. On moral grounds, he should have said, this is not the place where I should. Sometimes have you seen the judges? Sometimes they extract themselves out of that seat. This case I cannot because I have some interest in this case. True or not? Moral grounds. लालू जी इतनी बड़ी population खुद ही yes recusal कर लेना चाहिए था कि नहीं? Population policy सब बनाए. काहे नहीं बनाएंगे? बच्चा पैदा किया तो क्या हुआ? पॉलिसी तो हमें बनाएंगे ना. True. Declining growth rate. So why am I talking about this? So when you hear people talking about that India needs to cut down its population right now, so please get that everyone. India का अभी जो status है, center में heavy. Is everyone okay? Where are we? We are heavy over here. What should be our focus? इसको focus करिए. यहाँ तो shrink होने लगा ना everyone. This shrink is happening. Who's telling me? NFHS. Everyone. I have to focus either on A or on B or on C. Everyone. Japan has to focus on which one? ABC. Japan. ये वो सब सी लिख रहे हैं. बस सी कहाँ है? जापान में बच्चे हो कहाँ हैं? Japan has to focus on the old age population. अभी तो बताया था. Yes. Burundi has to focus where? C. Their numbers are increasing down there. India. Sir, B and C both, sir. Hello. C has already been taken care of. C तो इंडिया का डेमोग्राफिक ट्रांजिशन हो चुका. Get it? But sir, Bihar is lagging behind. Uttar Pradesh is lagging behind. Sir, Muslims are lagging behind. I get that. Are they on the track to come in place? Yes or no? What is the real issue right now? A, B, C, which one is the real issue? In India, which one is the real issue? B is the real issue. Which one will help the politician win the election? C. Politician will win the election if he finds blame over there. देखो ये बिहार पीछे रह गया. So Maharashtra only, Mumbai only for Mumbai cars. No person from Bihar and UP allowed. Yes or no? No. This is the Muslims are increasing the population and not others. That is C. C is already taken care of. I will show you data that Muslims population growth rate is also coming down and at a faster rate than the Hindu population growth. C is happening. Issue is B. Problem with B, I want to tell you. B means you have to create employment. B means you have to create healthcare. B means you have to create a lot of economic potential in that region. B is that. Or B करने में, the politician will face the real challenge. Will they talk of B? No. They will not talk of B. C serves their motive. And sometimes they will use A also. How will they use A? अरे बड़े बूढ़े लोग इन विचारों का इतना बुरा करते हैं ये लोग. तो इधर से भी वोट उठा लो, इधर से भी वोट उठा लो और इनको क्या करो? Polarize them into North Indian, South Indian. Yes, Hindu, Muslim, Punjabi, Gujarati. You can do that also. True. Polarize them. Who is winning? The person who polarizes. And the policymaker, neutral policymaker should be looking at what? Where is the challenge? And I want to tell you everyone, why am I looking at this challenge? This is an amazing opportunity. अरे मोदी जी तो कह रहे हैं डेवलप्ड नेशन बनेंगे, इसी से बनेंगे. This one is the bonanza that the country has. Invest in this. Do not put in toxins in their mind. True or not? Everyone, tell me, you go to the academy, IAS officer, you go to the academy, there are 5 IAS officers sitting. Are you interested in which religion he is, or which caste he is, or which gender? Yes. Would you want to look down? Because all five of you are going to make the same, have the same power to make a difference. Imagine how sad it will be that out of five, four of you are serving the country. Fifth one chooses to serve his religion and community. Whichever religion and community. Will it impact the working of these four also? True or not? Can this fifth one justify corruption on ground of his community? True or not? कर सकता है? आपने देखोगा अरे इस कास्ट के साथ ऐसा हो रहा है, उस कम्युनिटी के साथ ऐसा हो रहा है, जेंडर के साथ बीइंग अ फीमेल दे आर टारगेटिंग मी, ऐसी बात कर सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते? That's what we are talking about. That why not? Why not this youth be given all the energy, all the charge, and they will definitely take India to the next level. As per NFHS finding, the fall in TFR, the average number of children that were born to a woman over her lifetime, is a significant achievement. Okay, the TFR now stands at 2.0, which is below the replacement level, the rate at which population exactly replaces without population. So that's what we are talking about. Is everyone with me on this? Make sense? So TFR policy क्या बनानी है? Policy I will be talking about later also in my later classes also. I'll let you know what the policy will be there, what kind of policy. We will have a critical review of the population policy of 1975 as well as 2000. But right now we must look at, when you hear of, we must go for coercion. किसी को भी बच्चे पैदा नहीं करने देंगे या बता के बच्चे पैदा करो. Not needed. National Family Health Survey, which provides demographic estimates for policy making, shows India's TFR is 2.2 in 2016. It was in rural areas, it was more, urban areas, it was less. I hope you can understand. 18 states in India and 5 union territories have TFR less than 2.1 in 2016 itself. So, the concern kahan thi? If 18 of 5 and 5 union territories were below this, what was the concern? Everyone, apart from NFHS, there is also called as SRS, Sample Registration Service. Yes, they also produce their statistics. So, as per them, Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, 7 states have TFR above national average. Everyone, can you see EAG? You might be wondering, अरे याद कैसे करूंगा? असम अलग से निकाल दो, बाकी EAG states. According to Census 2011, India's annual population growth rate was 1.61. World Bank has shown ये decrease हो रहा है, सब कुछ तो decrease हो रहा है. Economic survey, I'm telling you different agencies who are saying that the population growth rate in 12 states was less than even 1%. Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana, regarding to high fertility, have shown significant decline. So it is not just NFHS. I'm saying everyone is saying that the bottom is shrinking now. Don't worry. Worry about the center. And remember, everyone remember, if this youth in this age bracket, you are in your 20s, no? If in your 20s to your 50s, you don't have a job, therefore you don't have a saving, therefore you don't have financial independence, and after 50 you grow old. True or not? Is there any old age security? PM Kisan में मिलता भाई 6,000 रुपए per year. Is there any security? We are not a developed country that we have old age security. So can I say this is the time when I secure my old age also? True or not? Have you heard of people planning their retirement? Everyone, I have my bank deposits. Since my 20s, I have been putting something in that. There is a government scheme which is called PPF. Yes, Public Provident Fund. We give the money to government and the government uses that. NPS, National Pension Scheme. Have you heard of that or not? I have invested in them. Why? I have invested in them. Why? Because when I grow old, I will need money and they will give me my money. That's my saving. True or not? But where does the money come from? I am doing a job right now. I am in my productive years. True or not? Now think about the youth which will waste these 20, 30 years. And do we know of such people? Do you know of such people around you, in your villages, in your towns? And do you know that they are going to have a cursed old age? And do you know many people have kids only for that? बुढ़ापे का सहारा. Yes or no? बुढ़ापे की लाठी. Because in the old age, somebody has to take care of me. अरे भाई, when you did not work in your youth, when you did not give them good childhood and good youth, do you think they will feel like working for you in the end? Isn't it a very big social decay happening? Think about it. So it's a very, very big responsibility for this government to make sure that these people are employed so that when they grow old, they live a very dignified life. And in fact, I think old age people should have not only their dignity, they should be sharing their wisdom also. Not wisdom, only wisdom. Wish नहीं फैलाना चाहिए. 2 child norm. अभी आपने सुना 2 बच्चे अभी mandatory करते हैं. So I want to tell you, UP, you heard of UP government talking about no, population is increasing, we must have 2. So draft stage में किसी के पास anyone who has more than 2 children will be debarred from contesting local bodies. So I want to tell you, these laws have been there. Himachal Pradesh in 2000 had this. Haryana in 1994, no person with more than 2 children could contest Panchayat and Zilla Parishad. This was revoked in 2006. Rajasthan had it in 1994. So if you are thinking that the present government is doing this, no, these have been there before also. 1983, imagine 1993, bars individual with more than 2 children from contesting civic body election. Madhya Pradesh 2000, Chhattisgarh 1994. 2 child norm is not a new thing. So suddenly don't be excited. अरे वाह, ये सरकार बोल रही है 2 बच्चे पैदा करेंगे. It has been there in India. It has been there in India. Do you get that? It has been started and there have been proposals and they have been revoking also. So please understand, what do we need is look at the other side of it. Look at the other side of it. This brings me to my next topic, which is called demographic dividend. Demographic dividend. So जो मैंने आपको बताया, this bulge, this is how India's population pyramid looks like. People who do not know population pyramid, let me tell you something. जो लोग पेपर 2 से जुड़े, population pyramid is a geometric way, geometric representation of population in terms of age and sex. By sex, I mean gender, for people who are afraid of this word sex. Yes, sir? So, you take the population of a country and arrange them in age cohort, age and sex cohort. Cohort, ये word आएगा कई जगह पर आएगा. Don't be afraid of this word cohort. Cohort means group. Get that? So what we do is we arrange the population of a country age-wise. How do we arrange the population of a country? Age-wise, in age groups. Get that? This is 0 to 5. This is 5 to 10. Do you understand? And the right-hand side is the female population. And the left-hand side is the male population. The length of the bar tells me the population size. In millions or thousands, something, population size. And the vertical bar is age, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. Okay? 15 to 20, 30 to 35, 60 to 65. Is everyone okay with the age sex pyramid? बन गया pyramid? Though this shape looks like pyramid, as I told you, different stages of demographic transition will have different shapes. 0 to 15. 0 to 15 are young dependents. 60 and above, or in developed countries, 65. They are called old dependents. And this is called the working age population. Is everyone okay? Generally, the pyramids are like this. Generally, pyramids are like this. ऐसे बनेगा ना pyramid? Everyone, can you see this? This is a small, short one. This is a wide base, tall one. Get that? Generally, they are like that. I think pre-transition pyramids are like this, and transition pyramid is like this. Early transition. But in late transition, that age group which was here, no, that will go up. So in late transition, what happens? That wider base shifts up. Get it? So this is late transition. And what is post transition? This is the balanced one. Post transition. Cylindrical. This is what? Cylindrical. And in case of Japan, it has become top heavy. This is called inverted. This is called cylindrical. Post transition, you are supposed to be cylindrical, but sometimes in certain cases, your birth rate becomes so low that it goes below death rate and you become inverted like Japan. Is everyone okay? So India kya hai? India is which one out of these? A, B, C, D, E. Which one is India right now? Okay. Which one is Nigeria right now? Nigeria is B. Nigeria is B or C ke beech mein. Get that? Which one is Mali and Chad? Mali and Chad are A. Get that? Which one is US Australia? US Australia, D. Japan Germany, E. Do we get that? In India, where do you see Parsis? Parsis, E. Jains, D. D or E? Yes. Hindus and Muslims, B and C. Sikhs and Christians, they are from D. They are closing to D. Yes or no? Tribal people in India, isolated tribes, A. Everyone, do we get some understanding? Depending on the question, use that idea. I am talking about something called as demographic dividend. It relates to figure number C. Everyone, did you understand what is the population pyramid? As I told you in my classes, I will make sure that the basic vocabulary is known to the student. You should know what is basic vocabulary, what is a population pyramid. It is a geometric representation based on age and sex. It tells me different population in different age groups or age cohorts. Is everyone okay with the word cohort? So there is a working age cohort, there is a young dependent cohort, there is a old dependent cohort. Get that? Different pyramid shapes are possible. We've tried to look at in different stages, and a population will go through all the stages of pyramids. Alag-alag stage aa jayenge. Which one is the balanced one, everyone? Which one is the most balanced one? If you have to choose one, so D, sir, cylindrical is balanced. So somebody remember we said replacement and population stabilization happens. D is there. I want after my classes, everyone should be in a position not to be stuck by definitions, not to be bogged down by technical terms, and being able to debate, think, brainstorm, have the idea, have the concepts, have the diagrams. Get that? Demographic dividend, give the heading and please write down. I'm dictating certain things. Demographic dividend, please write down. Dividend with a D in the end, not T. इसको हिंदी में कहते हैं लाभांश. Have you heard that if you buy the shares of a company, the company will give you some dividend of the profit. So it is the dividend. So government has got PSUs. PSUs, when they go in profit, they announce some dividend. That will go to the government because government is the owner. So whosoever has the share, that is it. So can population give us that advantage? Labh means advantage. So population-based advantage, that is what we are talking about. So please write down. Demographic dividend refers to that stage. जनसांख्यिकीय लाभांश, जनांकीय लाभांश, बिल्कुल ठीक है, रमेश सही कह रहा है. Please write down. Demographic dividend refers to that stage of demographic evolution. It refers to that stage of demographic evolution of a population. Demographic evolution of a population in which the working age group population far exceeds the dependent population. Far exceeds the dependent population. And in dependent, I mean what? Both young and old dependents. Yes, please write down further. This demographic situation offers a very special, this demographic status or situation offers a very special window of opportunity. Window of opportunity in which special window of opportunity in which a country can gain highly in economic terms on account of an excess working age population. Demographic dividend is a temporary phenomena. Demographic dividend is a temporary phenomena which arises. It is a temporary phenomena which arises when the country crosses the demographic transition stage. When a country crosses the demographic transition stage, experiences the associated population explosion, and a couple of decades after that, experiences a bulge in the middle of its population pyramid. what I want to say is, first you will have a population explosion, and with time what will happen? Those children will grow up and they will become a part of this working age population. Everyone with me on this? Are we clear? Please write down. Next paragraph. For India, this window of opportunity opened around 2010. And is likely to remain so till 2050 or 2040, till 2040. So 2010 we entered that. So 2010 India's working population became more. Next 30 years, if we give them 30 years more, will this working population go towards old age group or not? Everyone, will they go towards old age group? Yes. If they go towards old age group, will this window end or not? This window will end. Moment this window ends, everyone, moment this window ends, yes, will the demographic dividend be lost? So for India, yeah, 2010 say where am I? 2022. 2010 mein which government was there? UPA government till 2014. There was a big issue of unemployment in that government. Yes. After that, we have had 8 years with this government. Is unemployment still a very big challenge or not? Yes. वो तो ठीक है, farmers' income will be doubled and we will become a developed country. Tell me, how can we become a developed country if India does not reap its demographic dividend? ये एक फसल है. This is like a crop to be harvested. People who do not know reap, harvest, इस फसल की कटाई भी तो करनी होगी. True or not? We'll have to do that. Then only that will happen. Is everyone with me on this? True. So if that is not there, it is going to create a very, very big problem for India. Otherwise, it cannot happen. Are we clear on this? So tell me, what is coming in the way of India reaping the demographic dividend? कुछ रोक रहा है क्या हमें? Is there something which is stopping us? Is something coming in the way? Political will, capacity, okay. I have two things: political will, and I will give you my views. I just want to know what are your views. Unskilled development, new innovation. Okay, I get that. What else? Drug abuse, juvenile delinquency. I get that. What else? Chalo, I have two very specific reasons. Think about them. Number one, capacity of the economy to employ the excess workforce. Do we agree? There is limited resource, whatever you may say. भाई है ही नहीं हमारे पास, इकोनॉमी में जॉब्स नहीं है ना. Number one. Second, very important, employability of the workforce, health, education, skill. So only job seeking mentality, not going. नीरज, ये सब ना मंत्री की भाषा में सही लगता है. Job seeking mentality, not going entrepreneurship. Everyone, does the economy have the capacity for entrepreneurship? Let's be honest. Because of lockdown, was it not the MSME that suffered the most? घर बार बिक रहे हैं लोगों के. सर लोगों को सिर्फ जॉब चाहिए सर. अरे बाबा, if the environment is not safe, will I take risk? Isn't job safe for me? That's why I go for that. So first of all, there are no jobs. I'm not saying there are no jobs. I'm saying jobs are limited. Employment, economy की capacity नहीं है उतनी. Because we have access, no, but वो use नहीं कर सकते. Bandwidth is not there. अच्छा, are the people healthy? Zuma Kesari. Somebody said intoxication, drug abuse, and all that. Education, education. Above all, education तो है. Our culture is degree. वो डिग्री को अप्लाई करना तो आता नहीं. Skill and curriculum doesn't have it. Is everyone okay? Go करो ना ऐसे जाता है और हम मान लेते. 8:08 पे 8 बार थाली बजाएंगे, मान गए. Think about it. mental health, physical, mental, psychological. So everyone, can I say demographic dividend is a promise that may happen, but it will be missed if we don't do that. Let me end the class. This was a submission to us. Birth rate, death rate, total fertility rate. Can you see infant mortality rate? The person used economic survey for this. NFHS में नहीं आया तो इन्होंने economic survey use किया, but you can use that also. Different ways. People have submitted different. Stunting, somebody said 38, 36. Wasting, underweight. किसी ने कहा सर मुझे डेटा ही नहीं मिला NFHS में. अरे भाई है भाई डेटा, आप देखिए तो सही. दोनों का डेटा. So if you were not able to do it, as I said, I will be giving you samples also. So what is the homework? Your question रहेगा. So read this. I will put the homework on the group today. Okay. Everyone, do we have sample? Do we have sample?